Hello and welcome to Scarlet Serpent readings. Thank you so much for joining me in today's special timeless pick a card reading, where we will be tapping into the dragon realm, and specifically in this reading, your divine masculine energy. And this reading is a collaboration with the wonderful Letty from Fifth Dimension, and her video on this collaboration has been up for a day now. Actually, this is my second time trying to record, so I apologize for the delay. I know it was supposed to be up yesterday, but she has the divine feminine dragon energy, and she's a fabulous reader, and it was actually her idea to do a dragon themed collaboration. And a quick story, well, it's not much of a story, but a thing I wanted to mention about it was the morning that she emailed me, that Letty emailed me, I had to get my bike fixed, and when I was leaving the repair shop, I saw a motorcycle, and it had a bunch of dragon toys glued to, and I just started cracking up laughing, because it was just filled with a bunch of dragons, and I was like, okay, I hear you. And then not 10 minutes later, Letty was like, let's do a dragon themed pick a card, and I was like, so, I don't know, it was definitely an energy that's wanted to come through, so I'm very excited. And if you haven't checked out Letty's reading for the collaboration, please do so, because she's wonderful. So yeah, I have 3 piles for you. Pile 1 is going to be this rose quartz stone for pile 1. Pile 2 is going to be carnelian. Pile 2, and then pile 3 is going to be I actually forgot the name of this stone, but this stone right here. Of course, I'm gonna have a quick screenshot of the stones / crystals if you need some more time to meditate on which pile you feel drawn to. And of course, those piles, you can select them in the description box below. So yeah, I look forward to seeing you at your reading. Hi, pile 1. If you chose the rose quartz crystal, this is going to be your reading on your divine masculine dragon. And this is a collaboration with myself and Letty from Fifth Dimension, who she'll be doing the divine feminine, so you can check out her reading after this one. And I'm laughing. I don't know if Letty, you're watching this pile, but you'll know exactly why this is so funny. And I think many of you know, I've mentioned it a couple times, my dragon energy, I'm very familiar with it, so it's showing up in this pile. So I think we share at least a similar masculine dragon energy. And it's interesting that the rose quartz came up, just because it could potentially tie to heart chakra healing for this pile. But let's get into your reading. This is going to be a more open-ended reading, just to see what the dragon is, what your divine masculine dragon is, and just maybe any information or any messages that want to come through from this part of you. And your divine masculine dragon is the black dragon from Saturn, which brings you wisdom through spiritual discipline. Concentrate, focus on your ultimate vision, and congratulate yourself, you've passed the test. So strong Saturn placements, strong protective energy. I usually consider this to be a dragon that's closely tied to black tourmaline. So yeah, very defensive, very powerful energy, and that's your divine masculine is very powerful. But we also have, interestingly enough, the Lemurian seed codes. Yeah, Lemurian seed codes, which says embracing sensitivities, uniqueness, and living with grace. And that would tie directly to the rose quartz, which is all about opening up your heart center and really connecting with Cancerian or Pisces energy, accepting and loving the sensitive part of yourself. And because of the black dragon energy from Saturn being closely connected to both Aquarius and especially Capricorn, I could see that stubbornness, and this dragon could be helping you kind of see the strength in feeling your emotions, feeling the emotions of others, and seeing that as a gift. So let's just see where this reading goes. What do we need to know about this divine masculine dragon? What messages want to come through? Okay, so we have the Wheel of Fortune. Oh, there's a card underneath. And the World. Very powerful energies here. Then we have Saturn showing up and Jupiter. Let's get another one. Okay. And then the Lovers. Wait. No. Yeah, that is the Lovers. Yeah. So, seeing that we have a lot of major arcana, I'm not too surprised. Just because of that level of strength that I had mentioned earlier, that it's this big energy, you know? And I think in general you feel as though there are times where you're extremely lucky and you're extremely unlucky, and it seems to be something outside of your control. And I think part of the divine masculine healing is knowing when the wheel is in your favor and when you can actually do something about the circumstances in your life, and then when it's just simply out of your control. And especially since, of course, regardless of gender, this divine masculine dragon presence within you and as a spirit guide, I see that as like a reflection, similar energies, but the guide is saying that even if you are that powerful as a dragon, or as powerful as any creature can be, there are still some events that are outside of your control, and that can be difficult because Capricorn naturally wants it has to be done this way, and that's it. Very stubborn, very fixed energy. Let's show you the cards though. Wheel of Fortune. It's like, where are you on that wheel? We have, interestingly enough, the black dragon showing up twice already. Opening, I guess, like stargates. And notice the difference here. With the placement of the dragons, there's one dragon that's within the wheel and one dragon that's on the outside of the wheel. So I think that's a clear message of, by controlling your inner state of being, you can manipulate the outside world. And that's a lesson for the masculine dragon. And it's easiest to notice this with other people. You can't really control what they say, if they're being rude or throwing backhanded comments or being disrespectful. You can't change who they are, and they'll get reflected at them that experience that comes with that sort of negativity. But what you can do is either walk away or fight it if you feel like they need to hear that that's enough, but really standing in your power, which is within yourself. And I'm noticing that with Saturn is it's that focus and concentration, it's that condensed energy, and directing it in a very way. There's a word and I lost it. It's somewhere. Let me show you the Lovers card. This could be an indication of balancing the two energies of masculine and feminine, the masculine and feminine dragon, and there's that yin and yang showing up with Saturn and Jupiter, the world and the Wheel of Fortune, even the dragon, the black dragon from Saturn, and the Lemurian seed codes, which again shows embracing sensitivity, and even have the rose quartz. So there's almost like a contradiction of energies of being loving and embracing the moment, and then the masculine is saying, yes, I can embrace this moment, but if it's not to my liking, how much power do I have to change it, and where does that power end? It's like a sphere, and there's a point within the sphere that the external world begins. And so it's once you find that balance of what you can do, emotionally, energetically, physically, and being accepting of what you cannot, and then that's where your feminine energy comes to play. That's where you could be in that energy of love, regardless of the situation. And what's interesting is this feels very broad. This isn't very specific. So I think a lot of you are in a big shift in your life or this could be a recurring theme, especially since so far we only have major arcana. There might be a hint of relationship troubles that have really caused you to question your power and the power. I'm just saying that a lot, aren't I? I don't know, where some may recognize the light that you give and the wisdom of your words, and they try and diminish you because of their own insecurity. And I see with Saturn, like the ring is almost your boundary. And so if you haven't already, I think you have actually, that you've created very thick barriers, not only into what you allow others to say to you, but with spirits as well, where it's just like, I'm not working with that anymore, period. Sorry, I was just mentioning the strength of your masculine energy is knowing when to create walls and standing firm within those. We have the Four of Swords. That reminds me of the walls, actually. And it also reminds me of Saturn energy. Even though it's not Saturn, but it feels focused, very focused internally. And there's again that contrast of when you focus and concentrate and it's like closing in your energy, the world opens up. It's kind of like breathing in and out. So you breathe in, it closes, there's a concentration internally, and then the world seems to get still with that. I'll just show you the Four of Swords though, and why. Oh. And there's the boundary. It's got another card and Two of Swords. So now we're getting more swords energy. What does this all mean? What is the main... The Three of Cups. So with the Three of Cups, underneath I have... Oh, the Knight of Cups. So for some of you, this would have to do with a specific person in your life or relationships in general. Mostly romantic, though. Mostly romantic relationships. And it's... I think this pile has been increasingly selective towards who they allow into their lives, to the point where I wouldn't be surprised if many people in this pile were single, just because there's been so much turmoil and almost like an energetic depletion, or like a leak, like a draining of energy that's come from connecting to the wrong people. And so that's brought a lot of discernment into who you talk to, who you interact with in relationships, in love, or just with people in general. Very discerning and, again, protective of your energy, kind of like this black dragon. And in the same way, I think this black dragon is protecting you, not only from people, but from maybe just content that doesn't align with your highest potential and your highest good. That being said, I would be curious as to what your divine feminine dragon would have to say, because if you would want that single situation, if you are single, or maybe you want more friends, the walls would have to go down at least once in a while. And although there is a need sometimes for those boundaries and for that divine masculine dragon energy to come through where you're defensive and protective, there's also got to be a balance of the exhale, if you will, where you could let someone in, or could let certain people in, and it's giving yourself the permission to experience the joy of sharing a space and being one with someone else, or even if it's Three of Cups, being one with multiple friends, or being part of a community, being a part of something bigger than yourself. And I think that's the struggle and the lesson that's coming through with this pile specifically, with this divine masculine dragon, is that it's become so war torn that it's hardened its shell, and it's stiff. It's stiff. Combustion. Yeah, Letty, if you're watching this, this is pretty wild. But we do have that fire energy, and that fire can come from stillness and friction. And I think you're at a place where you've had a lot of friction, and there's almost a forced change that's coming internally and externally, and that's because of your struggle. It's like your struggle and hardship are creating an opening, and it's an inevitability, so you don't really have to force it as much. I think forcing blocked. This might be weird, but I was gonna say, by forcing your way out, it's like if you have a seatbelt. I don't know if this has happened to anyone, but you have a seatbelt and you're trying to get out and it gets tighter. That's kind of what this is like. If you're feeling alone, trapped, or just stifled energetically, the more you try to escape it, the harder it is to get out, and the hole kind of closes up. So really the only way out is kind of finding that wound within yourself, whatever this was, if it was a person or situation or what have you. Breathe into it. Embrace the heart energy, the Lemurian energy. You might want to connect with that, with either that crystal or those beings. I think I have, this crystal actually, but you might want to use that, or just connect with a dragon from there if you feel comfortable in doing so. But or even if you have a lot of water placements or significant water signs. The only one I'm noticing here for some reason is Cancer, but there could be, of course, any other water sign. And I think that's a big thing, is being passive, being a little more passive, and just acknowledging the situation you're in, and accepting it and breathing into it. And if you could even be grateful for where you're at, even grateful for the people that have caused harm and disappointment, the same with jobs and family, the more you open your heart and let that blockage out so that someone new can come into your life, or new situations or movement, because I think this pile likes movement. Especially this masculine dragon it's a dragon that likes to move and be wild, and it's getting more and more stuck, and the more rigid it becomes, the harder it is for it to be what it wants to be. So I'm going to end the reading there. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Please let me know in the comments how this resonates and how it connects with Letty's reading in 5th dimension, and I'll have the link to her reading in the description. So yeah, hopefully you enjoyed it, and I hope to see you in the next reading. Take care. Hi, Pile 2. If you chose this carnelian stone, this is going to be your reading on your divine masculine dragon. And if you missed the intro, this is a collaboration with Letty from 5th dimension, and she's doing the divine feminine. So don't forget to check out your reading, her reading, if you haven't already done so. So yeah, already the dragons that have come forth are masculine, as you could imagine, but it's still just nice to see the confirmations of that. And yeah, we're just gonna see the energy of this masculine dragon. You could see it as a guide, or as an internal dragon energy. So the dragon that you have is the golden solar dragon, which helps you stand in your masculine power with wisdom. Let your DNA be reprogrammed and light codes activated. Become an inspired leader. I made that face because I saw light codes being activated for this dragon, and then the card next to it is Thoth light codes, light initiation, great teacher awakening, divine magic. So I think your divine masculine is very much connected to the stars and to Atlantis, and is channeling a lot of wisdom, probably a wide open crown chakra and third eye. And I think you're meant to deliver this wisdom into the world through creative ventures, through creativity. And I think the masculine part of that is wanting to bring the wisdom forth. So I wouldn't be surprised if it's your divine feminine that allows you to receive that wisdom, in a still space, in a quiet place, and then the masculine wants to put that forth and share it in a creative way with the world. And this dragon wants, you might be going through that now, of reprogramming your mind, letting old thought patterns, and I was gonna be silly and say thought patterns. It's so funny. But letting those go so that you could continue to receive new insights, new light, to share with the world. So let's just get some more cards. And it's interesting, we have carnelian, which is a very grounded energy, but you can also connect it to the sacral chakra. So there's a lot of fire with this pile. Definitely. Okay, so just as I say that, right? I'm sorry, I'm putting the cards so that they face the right direction, because it's kind of hard to tell, and I'll show them to you in a second. But we have the Knight, the Knight of Wands, and the Page of Wands. And then the Emperor. Wow. So there's a lot of fire energy here, and that makes sense because you have the golden solar dragon, but lots of movement, lots of desire to create stability using this creativity, using this wisdom. And so ideally you'll be able to express freedom and express yourself in a way that feels true to you. So it's kind of like dancing your truth. But the only thing is that blocking this would be very uncomfortable for you. In other words, kind of like someone who reads a lot of books or watches a lot of movies or just meditates a lot or whatever. And if you can't share that with someone, even through conversation, it creates a lot of discomfort, I think, for you and for your dragon energy. So let me just show you. You can already see all of that fire that you have. Look at that. You might work well with other fire signs or people who share that same passion, and at the same time find it really irritating to be with people who, especially work with people who don't really care about their job or don't really have a passion for what they're doing. It's just like, well, if you don't want to be here, don't. Just, you take a lot of pride in what you do, and I think this goes especially with work, but more so in exchanging ideas. You really like sharing ideas and expressing, again, your internal wisdom. So let's get a few more tarot cards. What is this all about? Two of Pentacles. What is this about? Six of Cups. Six of Cups is kind of weird to me right now. It feels uncomfortable. It feels hard to understand that energy for some reason. I can't even visualize what the Six of Cups looks like. And it's like, you don't want to. You don't want to look into your past. You don't want to look into what created. You just want to move forward. I think there's a secret in your past, though, that'll shed light onto how you can best express yourself that you might not be doing at this time. It's something, yeah. This Two of Pentacles is showing that maybe as a divine counterpart, although you might want to be with someone who has fire energy, at least having people around you who are a little more grounded would help bring this fire into reality, because we see a lot of orange here too. So it's part of what creates the tree of life, that life being your expression, your creative baby, if you will. And we're seeing that with the cards, that whatever it is you want to express, it has to be grounded in reality somehow. And that could be part of the difficulty that comes through with this divine masculine energy. It's how can you possibly put these concepts into a rational mind, a rational being. And that's where the creativity is that you're not, this dragon is saying, don't try and convince people. I mean, you can use words, but not in a very direct, two-dimensional sense. You could do so by adding subtext, and really what you're trying to do is share a story with the subconscious mind of other people. And that's where you could really be creative and really allow wisdom to flow through you into the world as a whole. And you don't have to do it alone. I mean, I think this pile is meant to lead, definitely. Especially with like Atlantean energy, with Thoth energy, and with solar energy. But you don't have to do the bigger the project is, obviously the more people you're going to want on your team. And so don't sell yourself short by trying to do more than you could handle on your own. And the last card we have is the Nine of Wands, which, as I was just saying that too, it looks like a candle, like a light, is being ignited, but it's held firmly secure. And so that's one thing, right? Is the direction of your fire, the direction of your passion. If it's spread out in a lot of different ways, I don't know, like with cooking or with making glassware, there's a certain type of heat, there's a certain amount of time, whatever product that you're putting into it can sit within that heated space. And it takes a lot of trial and error, so give yourself a little wiggle room to experiment, but try and be consistent so you could notice patterns within your creative flame. And I'm just saying that because we'll just notice this figure, the direction in which the dragons are breathing. It's creating like a linear flame. There's structure to it, whereas this flame, it's really just the dragon dancing. But like, notice the spirals, the shape that the flame makes, and how that makes you feel. Really, this seems more intense, more deliberate. This seems loose, and I know that seems kind of abstract, but I'm just talking to your subconscious mind right now. I'm sure there's a part of you that knows what I'm talking about. Even with the Emperor, the flame is being brought below the surface. And that's where the stability and structure are coming from. So where, there's a lot of approaches you can take to your creative venture. Don't allow yourself to be stuck on something that isn't working, because there could be another way, and I think that way might, the hint and clue to that would be something in your past. Something. Let's get another card for that, actually. Why is this Six of Cups here? Okay. We have the King of Swords. The King of Swords, it's very powerful, very aggressive. And I think that's you. Let's get another card, actually. I think it's you, but it could be Seven of Wands. Yeah, I think it is you. Maybe. Well, first of all, there's more wands here. I think part of this fire that you have is in fighting people who have tried to condense your heat and creativity. And you're almost used to fighting, and so through meditation maybe, or just reflection on the people in your life when you were younger, could reveal the source of where all the fighting began, like who it is you feel is trying to make you not express yourself fully. And I think, look, just look at these cards. Shedding a light on that will start to unravel your creativity. It'll start to open up new possibilities, really. There's a lot of solar plexus energy, lots of a desire to express yourself, and so once you find the hesitation in showing all of who you are, once you find the root cause of it, and it could be, again, a person in your life, maybe a father figure, or an energy like that, where you felt you couldn't allow yourself to be seen fully, And that's funny because that's where I think the wisdom comes from, is that wild side, that weird part of you. And so not only by embracing that side will you be able to more freely put more of yourself into the world, but also draw in people who can relate to those struggles and can dance with you that weird dance, or if it's a type of genre of book or movie or something that you can connect to the world by connecting to others who see the world through your lens, your unique perspective. And so it's kind of like finding out the root cause and just looking at it. You don't really have to do any special sort of meditation. It's just sitting with that. We have balance. Balance came right on top of the 2 of Pentacles, so that's interesting. Then we have concealed. Both of these cards are blue, so I think that's saying something, considering how much orange energy you had in this reading. This could be guidance from Thoth, guidance from the stars. But the concealed card is what I was saying about shedding light into something that's beneath your level of consciousness. And it's almost as if this ball is a blockage. And just noticing that it's there will be enough to release it and to allow you to be a little more expressive, a little more yourself, and consequently happier, I think. So I think I'm going to end the reading there. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Please let me know in the comments, like, subscribe, and don't forget to check out Letty's reading. I'm going to have a link to that in the description. So hopefully you enjoyed it, and I hope to see you in the next reading. Take care. Hi, Pile 3. If you chose, I was gonna call it Serpentine, but I don't think that's what this is. Opalite, maybe. I completely forgot, but it really feels like a dragon egg, doesn't it? This is, of course, a collaboration with Letty from 5th Dimension. And so in this reading, I'll be looking at the Divine Masculine. She'll be looking at the Divine Feminine energy. And I have a few oracle cards showing what this energy is. And you could see it as an energy that's within you, or an external spirit guide, a Divine Masculine spirit guide in dragon form. And what's interesting is that I got 2 cards representing this dragon energy, and they're very similar and connected. You have the dark blue galactic dragon and the orange gold dragon from Arcturus. Whoops. So you could have a connection with Arcturus, the stars in general. But I would say that this energy, this Divine Masculine, has a feminine counterpart that shares an equal space within your energy, within your experience, and I'd say that is very balanced. Otherwise, this could represent a strong soul connection with someone in your life physically. So the dark blue dragon says helps you listen to the voice of the universe, and then the orange gold dragon from Arcturus says it opens you for the new golden age, right? Yeah. Carry the energy of the future, be a guiding light. And then we also have this card, which is Soul Star Activation. It features Horus, so you could have connection to Egypt and really those gods, fulfilling soul contracts and remembering who you are. So I think this pile is going through major transformation and ascension, and I think of this stone actually because the more you meditate with it and hold it, this line gets larger, and so the actual stone itself changes in color the more you hold on to it. Clearly I have not used the stone too much, but there's that. And Some of you might have a wand. It's a bit random, but or are interested in astral projection, astral travel, working in the dream space. I think that's the strength of yours that you have. You have the Sun, the Death card, and I think it's the King. No. Yes, the King of Swords, the King of Pentacles. Wow, I struggled. Then we have the Emperor. Interesting, I mentioned transformation and the Death card showed up. Let's get one more card at the bottom. Six of Swords, and then the Two of Wands, which looks like a heart. So, I'll show you these cards in a second. The Sun. Look at how big that energy is. So I do think your crown chakra carries a lot of wisdom. Just these cards alone show like a whole environment within your mind and within your headspace. So I do think there's a lot of channeled wisdom that your soul has within you. And I think this wisdom gives you confidence in how to navigate this world and how to interact with others in a way that is true to who you are while acknowledging the differences of the people around you. Differences not only physically, of course, and just in the way they carry themselves, but also in celestial origin and how that could influence their present experience. So something like past lives. It's incredibly complex, of course, as you could imagine. Not only different living situations, living circumstances, upbringing, parental guidance or lack thereof, and then you throw in there like star seeds, like different planetary influences and star signs, and then past lives, and then ancestral patterns, and there's a lot going on, and that shapes. It's interesting how these things connect and where these people come from that are drawn into your life. But I think your divine masculine can see that. It can see the connectedness of everything. It might not understand fully where these things come from or where these people come from or why, but I think this part of you just recognizes that it's more than what's right in front of them, or right in front of you, I should say. And oh yeah, I was gonna say with the Death card and transformation. With this stone, I just see a very strong connection. Is that you're ever evolving, and that evolution is part of your soul star activation and part of your ascension, but it also shifts your internal world, your mindset. And I think that openness to change within yourself has just made this experience a lot more satisfying for you. That's the sign of a truly great wizard or witch, as to kind of update rituals and magic and perspective and perception of the world, so that it can change and evolve as the universe expands. Just show the Six of Swords here. Now I'm going to get a another card to clarify that. It almost looks like the Three of Swords, though, doesn't it? That's just what I'm getting. So I'll get a card to clarify that, and the Two of Wands. But I'll show it to you. It's almost as if there's two dragon eyes that are helping you. There's the masculine here, and the feminine here. The feminine is using a bag to collect the starlight. And you could argue that the masculine dragon is creating the starlight with his mind. And so there's this part of you that sees the people that come into your life as your own manifestations, and that there's something to be learned from even the difficult people that just make life a little more difficult, or you could say interesting. But that there's something that you can grab from it, that you could learn about the universe from their presence, their experience, or at least the way you handle their presence. I just want to clarify the Six of Swords. One more. So I have the Knight of Wands and the Ace of Swords. I mean, there's not much going on. It just is telling me, especially with Soul Star activation, and like I said, there's a lot on the mind energy, so the crown is wide open, and you get a new perspective and shifts and transform as you move through life, as you as the oracle suggested, is release kind of old patterns and old mindsets to allow new ones to come in. And it's easier when you physically move, so you might have a tendency to move a lot, or you might be drawn to travel, especially to other countries. And that just really expands your mind. I think there's a very strong, almost physical reaction that you get to allowing yourself to explore the world, explore the universe. Or if you can't do so physically, maybe you might be drawn to like foreign food channels or something like that, like on Netflix. I can't even name one, but a food network thing where you go to another country and you could almost experience the taste of food vicariously through watching the reaction of people who are eating something that's way more delicious. But I think also through travel you get to see different people, you get to see different cultures, and you get to just look at another part of the galaxy here on Earth. You could look at different regions as having music preferences, different structures, religious ideologies, and just see like the little chunks of change and how it all connects somehow. And you could see that with the same thing with star beings too. You could see that like an intergalactic influence on a particular region. And that just you just like thinking about it. I don't know. Like there's a very personal quest to understand your place in the universe, and that's something that satisfies both your masculine and feminine dragon energies, and that just makes you feel like you're part of something. And I think that's very important to you, is feeling like you're a part of something bigger. You might like mountains, like feeling small and then having mountains surround you, or something like that, where like if land is flat, it might just come across as boring. But yeah, let's get a few more oracle cards. Anguish. I'm going to clarify that. And connection, huh? That's beautiful. I just mentioned that, so this is, I'll just take that as confirmation. Oh, and we have the hills too, the mountains. As above, so below. But the anguish card is interesting. So I'm gonna I'll do another oracle to clarify it. Gifts. So the mind can be a beautiful ally, but it could also easily be an enemy if you overthink or put your mind towards the wrong things. And so I think that's why it's so important with your crown chakra activation, with traveling and moving. There's this need again to see different things, because if it's too still and stifled, your mind might go to places where it's just not productive. You don't see yourself grow and expand in the way that you feel is natural, which is natural to you. Especially now that I see the Ace of Swords again. This is a very comfortable place for you. And it's how you feel a connection, is constantly learning. And if you're not learning something new, you're just looking internally, but not in a productive way. In a way that's, it's like, well, why can't I do this or be that or experience something other than this? And it's almost like you could feel the burden of missing out on opportunities, that you're missing out on the world. And so if you could find a way to redirect that mindset into seeing the diversity of, even within your own area or within situation that you're in, and finding that same diversity, because again, as above, so below. So if you could see within a small region of space or even a little park, if you could see the whole universe in there, then you'll never feel trapped or stagnant. So yeah, I'm going to end the reading there. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Don't forget to check out Letty's part of the reading for the Divine Feminine Dragon, and that's going to be in the description. So hopefully you enjoyed this reading. Please leave a like, comment, subscribe, and I hope to see you in the next reading. Take care.